Alright, you can have a seat.
Okay.
So, how's the movement for Bear? Like, have you noticed anything? Like,
He's been calmer in the house.
Uh-huh.
I think Bear! Hey, come here. That's the wrong person, Bear. Come here.
So he's calmer in the new house?
He's calmer in the new house. I think it's because it's smaller, so he doesn't have that much room to roam around. So a lot of times he'll just like lay on the floor and just watch us. But then outside, he's worse because he doesn't have that much space to run around in outside anymore. So we always have a leash on him when he goes out. He's really good with no distractions, but now that we're in the city, there are a lot of distractions and a lot of other dogs. So he sometimes won't listen when he is in close proximity with another dog.
Okay.
We've tried turning it up to 127. He still doesn't listen. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's the current situation. I think it's just because he hasn't been exposed to that many dogs, so he is really excited whenever he sees one.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty interested in what we talked about last time, which is the daycare option, so he can, meet other dogs and learn how to behave around other dogs.
Yeah. So what happens when he sees a dog? Is he just locked in, or does he like try to lunge, or does he want to play, or like what do you see when he sees another dog?
First he freezes, and then he tends not to go up to the other dog, but if the other dog comes closer, then he'll want to play.
Okay, I see. And then you said you've gone up to 127 before, and what happens when you hit 127? He just doesn't care.
Yeah.
When you had the consultation with Jesse, I think he might have said to get a different collar, because, let me see your remote. Yeah, because you have the 1900S, but I think he might have recommended you the 1900S Black Edition. The black one is stronger than the 1900S.
Gotcha.
So this might be a difficult, just a problem, because now you have less power for a big boy,
Yeah.
I'll have to check with Jesse, see about that, but the 127 should be very powerful for dog. I just want to see. And it's also, is this how you fit it every day?
It might be a little loose.
Yeah, because it's also loose.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and fit it later when we start the new training session, or the new whatever I'm going to teach you guys.
Yeah.
And then I'll go ahead and mark it. So here he's been a little overstimulated, so go ahead and put the leash on him. And then is that a slip loop? Or is this a regular?
This I just clip on to the e-collar, but I also have this collar.
Yeah, well, we're going to need the flat collar for this exercise. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it for you.
Okay. Bear, sit.
So here, go ahead and tap. Wait a moment. Okay. So, and what was that number?
That was 70.
Okay. So without distractions, without anything, what is your number?
60.
Okay. So it could just be the collar. Another thing that might help you guys, since it's the snow and everything, since she's such a powerful dog, would be getting a prong collar just for the handling skills in case you can't move fast enough for the collar. So let's say you're out in the snow and a dog comes out of nowhere. Since you're in the city, that's going to happen a lot. That's just how it is. With that prong collar, it's just for emergencies, for handling. So if a dog comes here, it's pretty much, unless you're like super good with the e-collar to like dial in and like hit the continuous or whatever you needed to do, you have that emergency like prong collar just like, you know, to grab him, because with the flat, there's no consequence, so he can just keep pulling. With the prong, there's consequence. When he pulls, it tightens, and then like it's like a dog bite. I'm sure Jesse's explained the prong collar to you guys. Or,
yeah.
So it does, you know, it does its thing. So then you have that as an emergency backup if you don't have access for the remote or whatever the situation is. Especially right now, if the 127 isn't working, probably get a prong collar in case it's needed. But the 127 should because I felt 127 before, and it's a big deal. So it could be the e-collar. Well, it's definitely the model, I think. I'll go ahead and check with Jesse, and then but
yeah, so it could be two things. It's probably, I sent my brother out to go get it, and
I see.
I told him the black edition, but I don't know if he knew there was a difference. So
yeah, there's a 1900S and there's 1900S black edition.
gotcha.
Trying to think. And how long have you had the e-collar for?
Probably 6 weeks now.
Dolce is their customer service is really good. So you can do a return exchange, and they'll send you the black edition. I'm not sure how long their shipments are due to COVID, and especially during the driving situations on the roads and everything during the winter. So there might be a little delay, but you can definitely do an exchange for that. But other than that, so the distractions and everything, the dog, the social, because you said you wanted to do daycare, you think it'll help with the not listening on their walks or whatever. That it won't help that. It's just consequence. So even dogs who love dogs and play with dogs and they're aware of what dogs are, like then sometimes they see a dog like, oh, I want to play, even though some tap. Just wait a moment. Good. Just help him settle. So he's just overstimulation. Just like, what's this? What's that sound? What's this place? So it's just to settle him down. But the daycare won't help with the distractions on your walks. It's just power for the e-collar. That's all you needed. So if the e-collar was working and everything, you had the right model. The 127, you'll see like whoa, okay, like then he'll start walking with you because it's just the power.
Yeah. And then we go to the dog park a lot too. And he's off leash there.
With other dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So sometimes when I tap him to come to me, he'll just sit by a random person. And when I tap more, he just like continues to stay there. So is that just like taking a leash there and doing that training?
Yes.
Okay.
So we practice at your house, and then when you go to a new environment, you have to take a step back and repeat everything so that he knows, oh, it's here too. After a while, once you keep exposing to new environments and transferring the training everywhere, so it's more exposure, it's going to make him more confident. It does a lot of things. It's really cool. But once you start exposing to new environments and applying the training there, you don't have to keep doing it for his whole life. Like he'll start to get it. But since we're in the learning stages and everything, you're going to want to take a few steps back and layer in the foundation, and then he'll recognize it, you know. Another thing is what we saw with the recall. You remember you were walking away, and then your brother called Bear off you and he wanted to keep going to you.
Yeah.
There's still some confusion there too, because he's like, well, mom's going that way, why didn't he go to you?
Right.
Oh, it's still you. So also dogs, when you're doing recall, they will usually go to the closest thing they think that can turn it off.
Gotcha.
So Bear's in the dog park, he's hearing, the tapping and everything, he's like, how do I turn this off? I think, he's probably recognizing what's going on, like the recall, he's like, I'm gonna go here because this is a person, hopefully it turns off because they're right here.
Right.
We'll see it at, like, when we used to train in the summer at Oz, like, me, Jesse, and the other hand of Brianna, all three of us were there learning. And when they were doing recall, the dog would like go to Jesse or go to me. Like he would try every single option. Yeah. And then once he realizes the options that he was given were wrong, and he realized the right option, then it's clarifying. So if you wanted to practice like coming to me instead of someone else, you can have like a friend or your brother stand next to you and have recall him from the dog park and just keeping that leash. The only tough part about doing recall at the dog park is the other dogs. Right. They're seeing Bear run, they're like, oh, Bear's running, I want to chase him. Then they'll like jump on him, they'll bite him, whatever, and he's getting distracted. But if there's not that many dogs, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. I don't know if are there a lot of dogs now in the dog park?
Yeah, a lot of dogs there.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Another thing is keeping the long leash on him could cause injuries when he's playing with the dogs. So if he's playing with the dogs, he's going to get tangled up. It could turn it into an injury really quick.
Right.
And with the other dogs as well.
Would it help if I did the training there when there were fewer people?
I'm not worried about the people so much. I'm worried about the dogs really just getting in the way. The people doesn't matter because you have that long leash to bring him away.
Oh, I meant like if there were fewer people, there were fewer dogs there.
Oh well, yeah.
Because then will he associate it with the place, even though when it's busier, he'll have more distractions?
So ask that again.
So like if I do the recall training in the dog park when there's only like one other person or dog there, will he continue to associate that recall with the dog park place even when there are like 7 or 8 dogs there?
Yeah. So you can go ahead and just start it. The next time you go there, you can just start the recall with however many dogs there are. You can do this. I'm just letting you know what could happen since you're at a dog park.
Right.
I'm not saying don't do it with a lot of dogs. Just being aware of watching where the leash is and being a step ahead, basically. I say go for it with all the dogs and everything because we have the ability to make it happen with the remote and the leash, no matter what. I'm just letting you know that it could get a little messy with all the dogs and the leash getting tangled and everything.
He's okay with other dogs. He chases dogs a lot. Some dogs like it, some dogs don't. When they correct him, he's fine, but then continues to chase them.
Okay. Have you ever used a remote during play or
yes.
anything? So you can go ahead and you can tell me a scenario like when you had to use a remote during play.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not always play because he just chases dogs and he likes licking other dogs' peepees, which I don't know why, but like when he does.
Is he neutered?
He's not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. But when he does that, I tap him and he stops for like a minute and then he does it again.
Okay.
Or maybe not even a minute, maybe like 10 seconds.
Okay, so, and you always tap him when he's doing it, right?
Yeah.
Just to make it easier, if you want, you can tap him when you think he's gonna do it. So then, since he's already doing it, it's technically worth it. So for example, here's a tap. So for example, Jesse had a client where a dog wanted to go through the trash can, and I think the owner told him, I was on 127 continuous when he was in the trash can, and he keeps going in the trash can. And then the whole idea was like, it's worth it because he's already in the trash can, he's gonna take a hit and then, whatever. But then they changed it up to where 127 when he's thinking about it. So then he doesn't even want to think about it, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So if you see something that's about to happen, I would just go ahead and correct it right away. Do you plan on getting him neutered?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When, how old is he?
He's 10 months.
You're probably gonna wait till he's like what, is it like a year or two?
Yeah, like fully grown.
With the neutering and everything, what I've also seen with Jesse's clients is that we get a Doberman that has so much frustration in him, like, because he's like, I think he's like 2, he's never like mated or anything, he's just unneutered male. Like, there's a lot of frustration because the unneutered, the natural like nature, mother nature, like it's a need for them to mate, and if they're not mating, then it's a lot of frustration that's building up. So once this dog got neutered, like it was like a different dog. Like we tried socializing him, and he always wanted to mount, no matter boy or girl, he just wanted to mount the dog. Then we neutered him, and then he was just so much more calmer. Like he was not frustrated. He was able to like just take in everything except just thinking about one thing, you know. So that could be another thing that could help you with the dog park.
Do you know why he's whining?
It's just overstimulation. You can also correct the whining if you like, just giving the tap. So tap. Wait a moment. Wait. So you're good. Good. Yeah, so if he's whining, you can correct that as well. We like to take our time with that stuff. Just tap, wait a moment, see what he does. If he continues, tap again, wait a moment, tap again. Remember the three rule thing? 3 taps, nothing, 5, bump it up. You can just keep going about that. But see, there you go. With the neutering, it could also help them be more playful almost with the dogs. What else?
He's fine when other dogs like play by him or jump on him. He doesn't do anything.
And how does he take the corrections from the other dogs?
Fine. He like jumps back and is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's funny. What else have you corrected him for, like in the dog park? That's pretty much what he kind of does.
Yeah, sometimes he started jumping on other dogs, so I correct that because he's so big. I don't want him to hurt any other dogs.
And then does he take that correction from the equine well? Like, does he stop?
Most of the time, yes. There was one recent time where he just really wanted to hump this one dog, so it didn't work as well. So I just left the dog park, which isn't the best option, but yeah. But that's the first time he's humped another dog. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely like the neutering, the frustration. But yeah, you have anything else that you wanted to ask about, or anything how you wanted to go about, like how, like other than in being in a new environment, he's just like pretty much just like kind of just chilled out.
Most of the time, yeah.
I expect it to take like no more than a month, maybe maximum a month, for him to start opening up in the new environment, for him to realize, oh, okay, this is home, so he'll start to open up again. It takes a while for dogs to acclimate to new environments. This doesn't like happen overnight. It takes a while, and that's what depends on the dog. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, are you guys still using the bonker, or he's probably not? Because he's not doing anything in the new environment, right?
Yeah.
What else was there? I'm trying to think. Okay. Do you have any questions about the recall? Just practicing with the long leash. I think I said there's phases, so like short leash, long leash drag, and then no leash enclosed area, then no leash unenclosed area. So we have to go through these phases to get to the no leash recall. Recall is going to take a while because you have to go to different places to expose. So that's why it's going to take a long time. But yeah.
And it's been so cold outside that it's hard to bring him outside to train.
Yeah, Jesse's been avoiding the practice. So when he has clients, he doesn't do recall because they can't practice. So we've just been doing like in-home stuff that you can practice with the dog. So it's easier. But for this lesson, we'll go over place.
Okay.
You said did he have a dog bed or?
He has a crate.
Mm-hmm.
Bear don't eat. Should I let him go on? Should I?
It doesn't matter. You said he has a crate?
He has a crate. He used to have a dog bed in the other house, but we decided not to bring it to the new house.
Okay. So this same exercise can be used as a crate. It's probably going to be more easier since the crate only has one way in, one way out. But this is also cool because you can have so place can be anything. It doesn't need to be a doll bag. It can be a yoga mat. It could be like a little towel that you take with you, like if you want to go on.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. If it can be a towel.
Yeah, as long as there is a clear visual of like a perimeter. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, we wouldn't say place to the corner because he doesn't. He can't really. He can't tell the difference. So then we go ahead and use like these lifted dog beds. This is what we have like around the facility. So like we'll have columns, and then tether, and then like a little placemat for the dogs to just chill out there. So if you wanted to, like I said, you can use a towel, a yoga mat, or you can get one of these. These are pretty nice. And they also come in smaller sizes, they're not as big. And then sometimes owners use like a couch or like a big rug. So those are just like options you have if you don't want it to like have a thing that takes up so much space. Because like the yoga mat's nice because you can just roll it up and then roll back out. So place command is I send the dog to an object and then they're not allowed to hop off unless given a release command. They can stand, they can sit, they can lay down, they can chew on a bone. If the placemat happens to be a rug, they can like walk around the rug, they can like play with another dog or whatever, just as long as they're not hopping off the object. So, what else? And then you can use it for like simple things because like sometimes owners will have like dogs that just follow them everywhere and it can get annoying sometimes. So then those are like, place, like stay there, like leave me alone. So it can create separation, which is healthy for owner and dog. Or if you wanted to like go to like a restaurant, you can bring said yoga mat place and you can sit, lay down, or stand and do whatever you want, just on the yoga mat. So it's easier for the dog to see and to like stay there when you're at a restaurant. So those are just some like reasons, like places used, or if you have guests or like little kids who are afraid of dogs, like bear place and just stay there, respect everyone's space, and then everyone like they'll see like wow, they have control of the dog, like they'll feel comfortable and everything, and it helps a lot. So we're gonna work with there's two parts to this. The first part is the send off, like just getting Bear to look at this as a scenario and think every time I feel the e-collar, I have to go here. Because Bear has felt the e-collar for recall, staying by your side, and like the turns and everything. So those are all the only reasons why he learns, or like those are the only things he's like associates e-collar with. Place is also sometimes the first thing that is taught because it's easy and like there's not specific. So like first teaching e-collar, we can use place command too instead of the heel. Just because they get the concept of on and off of e-collar. So go ahead and grab Bear. And then you're going to just try to bring him to your side. And then don't let him go on the placemat. So you can come a little closer and you can just shorten your leash to eliminate that option. Yeah. Good. So things to expect, since he's willing to go on place whenever he wants, it might be different when there's pressure applied. So what we like to do is we like to assume like I would assume things that like there might be like some like bucking around, some like resistance, some he might feel the pressure. She's like, whoa, and like skip the placement and go on the other side, just like she's trying to figure out how to turn off the e-collar.
Yeah.
So what we like to do is put our right foot here to hold it, so he's not moving the placement, and we can just hold it with our foot. And what we're going to do is similar to recall, pair leash pressure with e-collar. What's our number again?
60 right now.
Let's go down to 40. Because we're teaching something new, we can start low. So we're going to have the foot on the mat and then having guidance with the leash, not dragging or anything, just very light leash pressure, and then pairing it with the remote. And we're going to continue.
The tapping?
Yeah.
Or the continuous?
Just the nick button, the bunky button.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep tapping until we see bear on the placemat. So if I'm pulling bear, tap, 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 he goes on, but then he goes off, tap, tap, pulling back, tap, he goes on, no pressure. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Good. Good. Now here, pull back and then tap, 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 tap. Good. And then break. Or what's your name?
Yeah, break.
Good boy. And we're going to repeat this 4 times.
Okay.
And no words yet because we want to layer the foundation first.
Yeah.
And we want the e-cod to be the reason why he's going on place. So whenever you're ready. Good. And then break.
Break. Break.
And you can slowly start like rotating yourself so he gets exposed to every single angle.
Well, I wasn't even tapping
Yeah,
that.
so if he goes on by himself, just go ahead and pull him off so that we can teach something.
Gotcha.
And you don't need to tap him to pull him off either. Good. Good boy.
Break.
And you can go ahead and give some praise when he goes on too if you like.
Gotcha.
Good.
Good job there. Break.
Good boy. Tap, 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 tap. Good. What's our number?
40.
Let's go down to 35. Good boy.
Break.
We'll do 2 more. Good boy.
Break.
So go ahead and bump the number. Oh, there he goes. So the collar's stuck in his mouth.
You know what? Yeah, stop.
Oh, it's still stomach.
There.
Good. Now here you might get off, so tap, tap, and grab the leash, tap, tap, tap. Good. Good. Any questions about that?
Nope.
So that's just like layering in, like the e-collar means go here now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just adding another option for bear.
Yeah.
So now what we're going to do is we want to know that the e-collar is the one that's making him do it, not just the leash pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to switch it now. We're going to do e-collar first. If we get no response, then leash.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll do 5 of those. And then continue to, we can also start increasing the distance from the placemat and just keep going around it so that he's like, getting used to all angles and like getting farther away from it.
Okay. Got it.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Break.
Tap, tap. So just use the leash, so pulling that, and tap, tap, tap. Stay still, tap, 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 tap. Good. So if we're here, all right, and tap, and he's not getting it, we'll just apply leash pressure. You don't need to move or anything, because
Gotcha.
when you're moving, he's thinking heel.
Gotcha.
So and then so just stay in your position, and you don't need to move closer. So when other trainers are training place, they like to do this, like place, and they walk the dog here.
Mm-hmm.
Versus what we're doing is place, tap, and then let him go, doing it all by himself. Because then if we do the walking to it, then we have to do that every single
Gotcha.
time. So then we just want the e-collar to make him go there by himself. So if I'm here, I say in the future when we start increasing the distance, and I say place, he's not going, I tap 3 times, he's still not going, I apply leash pressure here, and if he's still not getting it, I take 1 step just to further myself and kind of give him a hint where to go.
Gotcha.
Then he should just flush out.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Break.
And what's the number?
35.
Let's go with 30.
Here, come.
Okay. So then right here, just so you have a head start, go ahead and shorten your leash to right, yeah, where you have the most, there you go, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So then give a tap, tap, now use the leash to guide him, tap, 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 there we go.
Come.
4 more.
Break.
And go ahead and just get a little closer for him. Good. And it doesn't matter if he's sitting or standing or whatever, just go ahead and start tapping and pulling there. Tap, 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 tap. Good boy. Good, 3 more.
Good boy. Break.
Tap, 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 tap. Two more.
Break.
Tap. Good.
Good boy, Bear. Break.
One more. So here, just give a tap, one tap. 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 Almost. So leash guidance, tap. Tap. There you go. That one was much easier, you saw that?
Yeah. Good boy, Bear. Good boy. Okay. Okay. No. Oh.
So here, sometimes dogs break plates because they're being pet and everything. So go ahead, when you're done petting, you can keep petting him just to like see if he'll pop off. And then just go ahead and then when you're done petting, grab the leash and just take a step back, holding the leash, getting ready, assuming he's gonna jump off. Good, tap, 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 tap.
Good boy.
So go ahead and release him.
Break.
Just go ahead and pull him off.
Break.
Okay. And for this one, closer to you. Go ahead and send him to the place.
Should I say please?
No, just give a tap. 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 And you can go ahead and take a seat, but just hold on to the leash. So, have any questions about that? We'll do the cue by the end of the session.
Okay.
Do you have any questions or anything?
No, I think it's just going to take him a while to get used to it because he associates the tap with coming to me and sitting and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a few things. So that was like the send off. The next part is like aside from the cue and everything, like the don't move from it.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of did a little bit of it where like, he'd top off and that's how you correct it. Start tapping immediately and then leash pressure if needed, if he needs a little more guidance, which he is still needing guidance. Another thing would be, let's say he's on a place in your house, right? And then, like someone knocks or something and then he's like, whoa, who is that? And then he hops off, or if he barks or something like that and you don't want him to bark and you tap him, he might hop off because he thinks, oh, it was the placemat that I got the tap for.
Mm-hmm. But
But technically it was the bark you tapped him for. So, or it could be, well, I think he's more like I can see him chewing the bed for some reason, I don't know why, but. So like, let's say he's starting to chew on the bed.
he chews all his beds.
Yeah.
He's destroyed a lot of them already.
Yeah, so let's say he's on the yoga mat or bed or whatever you have, and he decides to chew on it and gnaw on it. You can correct it with the e-collar, but he might hop off again because he's thinking the placemat, because this is a new thing you're correcting him for. So he's chewing, you give a tap.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
he chews his crate. Because he got a new crate and
Yeah.
now it's wooden and he likes chewing on wooden things and paper products for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to correct that? We tried bitter apple spray and he seems to like it. So
you can tap with this. Tap. Wait a moment. Tap, and then use the leash to guide him back. Tap. 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 There we go. And you can go ahead and take it out. Chewing the crate, you can use the e-collar for.
what if it's in like the middle of the night when we're sleeping? There's nothing to really do.
Oh, I see. Is he ever in the crate like during the day when you can like see?
Sometimes, yeah.
I would just put him in the crate, see what he's going to be doing, and correct as needed. I'll have to ask Jesse about like in the night and everything. But yeah, I'll send you an email and follow up with that. Let me make a note real quick. So if he's, I'll let you know on that. But for the, let's say he's on the bed. And he starts chewing on it. Like for example, like this was a good example when he started to whine. I think he was like looking at me like whining. And if you tap, usually, oh he did, he hopped off. So if he's chewing, he might hop off as well on the bed. Same thing, correcting him and putting him back on the bed once he hops off. And then eventually over time, as this keeps repeating, he's gonna realize, oh, it was because I was chewing on the bed, or I was whining, or I was barking, or doing anything that he just disagreed with while he was on the placemat. When you're practicing this, keeping a short leash on him always for the first few weeks until you see consistency. And then, like for example, let's say you want to tap, tap, tap. Okay. So let's say you're gonna watch a movie. You sit on the couch, you have your dog bed here, Bear's here, you have the leash, and you have the remote. And you're watching a movie. You're gonna be there for like an hour or two with Bear, so that's good. If Bear hops off, you don't have to do any work really. You have the leash, you have the remote, he's right here, just tap and correct, like this scenario.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do right away is have him far away in a place where you're not going to be for a while and no leash, because it's going to require a lot of walking back and forth, and without a leash you can't really grab him. So even if you did have a short leash and he was far, it would still be because if he taps off, you have to grab the leash, tap, 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 walking back there, and you're going to have to keep repeating that. So we like to tell the owners to start with the dogs close, so it's the least work for you and Bear. But this is also like a good exercise mentally, because you have to stay still. So like I think Jesse will use like the example of like kids in church. It's very tiring. They get tired and they stay still. They can't do anything else. So here's the same thing, because he's already fallen asleep. So it's a good exercise mentally, because he has to hold his position and not hop off. I was going to say something else. Oh, practicing. So that's one scenario. Or like if you're working from home or something like that, doing schoolwork, having him next to you on the bed. Or if you have something you can tether him to, because like I said before, we have columns. So we have the tether placement. We give them enough leash to make the mistakes. Right? It's not like tight so that they can't, make the mistakes or anything. We want them to see the mistakes so that they can correct it. So we'll do like dogs for like 3 hours, 4 hours right away. You don't have to like slowly get them to 1 hour. You can go home right now and do 1 hour.
Okay.
But here we have a tether, so it's easier. So we have like 4 dogs on place. Like I'll know which one has the trouble or is newer with it, so I'll keep the remote like on my pants and train a dog on the ground. So if I see the dog break it, I have the remote right here to correct him, and then they hit the leash. They're like, whoa, what did I do? And they go back to it. Obviously we taught placement already, so they have a concept. But if you have something you can tether Bear to, like a solid object that he won't break or move or anything like that, you can do that as well. So it's less work, you just tap as needed, and if he's having trouble, you can grab the tether and drag him there. As long as he hops off and you're keeping the, like as a mistake, he's hopping off, as long as you're keeping the pressure on, that's the most important part. Any questions or anything?
No.
Okay. This is the part where like the duration part where like, we've done enough laps, but the first time he was like kind of like standing, like what is this? Then he was like sitting, and like he was standing, she's trying to figure out what to do. Now he's finally like, well, I'm gonna be here for a while. He's probably thinking I'm gonna be here for a while, so I'm just gonna take a nap.
Yeah.
So this is what places are usually for. Go here, relax, just be calm. Any questions?
Yeah, so when he's in place, should we interact with him or not?
Yeah, as long as he doesn't hop off. Like we encourage owners to do things that might make the dog hop off, such as, place, walk around, give a little pat, back away, see what he does, give another pat, back away. Sometimes dogs, like, they get pat, like, okay, I'm free, or something like that. Or dropping the leash, pick up the leash, and they see it, like, oh, he's picking up the leash, I'm gonna go. Then you can correct it as needed. So whatever you think Bear might hop off for, definitely expose him to that, and then correct as needed. Anything else? Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Cool. So we'll go ahead and apply the word place. It's going to be place. If he goes, no tapping. So the recall is the only one that we enforce, like the confusion, tapping after it. This you don't need to.
Okay.
So place, nothing, tap, tap, nothing, then leash.
Gotcha.
Cool. Whenever you're ready. Good. So wait a moment. And the word.
Place.
Tap. Tap. Wait a moment. Tap. Now use the leash. Tap. Tap. Good. Good boy.
Wait there.
Now for this one, just do a little walk around. Good. Give a little praise. Boy. Now break.
Break. Break.
Good.
Whenever anyone shows him any attention, he wants.
He's like, oh, you're mine now.
Yeah.
So
No
we're
good.
so tap, tap, tap. Good.
I was just trying to see if he would jump up again.
Oh, I see.
Okay, Bear, come on. Place.
Almost. Good.
Good job.
I thought he wasn't going to go because the leash got stuck under his jacket.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. Good job. You did it.
Now do a little walk around. Good. Please come in.
Break.
Good. There.
There.
Tap, 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 tap,
Do I need to go higher?
For this, yeah, but we'll just keep practicing the place with this number.
Okay.
What's the number?
30.
Let's go with 40. See if we can, see what that'll do with the place command.
Okay. Here. Place.
Tap, 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 tap. There we go.
Good job. Break.
2 more.
There.
Good.
Place.
Tap, tap. Almost. There we go. Good boy.
Good job. Break.
Good. 1 more.
Fair.
You can pull up and tap. There we go. Whenever you're ready.
Place.
Tap, 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 tap. Good. So that one was up the leash. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do 2 more.
Okay. Break. Break.
Good.
Please.
Good boy.
Good job.
And tap, 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 tap. And then we can lower our number back to 30. And then one last one.
Break. Break.
There we go.
Please.
Good boy.
Good job there. Good job.
Tap, 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 tap. Good. So you saw that you didn't really need the leash for that one. So that's what we want to see is like when dogs usually break it like here, so they'll do the long paw and we'll tap immediately and they'll go, okay. Like they'll retract themselves, which is good. He just decided to take the long way back to place. So go ahead and have another seat, see if you So any questions or anything about the command place or anything like that?
No.
So when you're using a different object, a new object, you're going to want to repeat everything again very slowly. And then same thing, exposing to all areas of the place. Because if, let's say we practice only in this angle, and then you come here and do it, he might go all the way around and go on the place from that angle.
Gotcha.
What else? And he can chew on a bone if you want. You can put a bone there and he'll chew on it and just do whatever as long as he's not hopping off the perimeter. Sometimes clients like to tell their dogs sit down on the place command. So like place, sit, you know. Then they lay down and they forget to sit. So then it affects the training, like, you know,
Gotcha.
I just sat, I laid down, I got away with it, you know.
Gotcha.
So it's just place. No, you don't have to say stay or any other like word that will make him stay. It's just place, don't move. Anything else or?
No.
Okay, well, if you have any questions, that is the place command. Like I said, you can already jump to 2-3 hours. If you want to learn how to do 2 hours, practice 3, so that 2 is not a big deal for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the same thing if you want to increase the time, practicing more so that the time you want him to learn is easy for him.
Yeah, makes sense.
We'll
watch a movie tonight or something.
What else? But yeah, it's exercising for the mind. It tires them out.